Hi, this is Jeff Graham. I'm a product support technician with Epiroc, and I'm going to show you how to inspect the EC line breakers, basically from the EC1 or the EC40 up to the 135. To start, we're going to pull the tool and measure the tool and the bushings. And first, we have to remove the plugs. Use a screwdriver, flat-bladed screwdriver, and there's a detent that's in the plug. As you want to push the screwdriver in and lift and twist at the same time to remove the plug. This is much easier to do while it's on the excavator. However, in the shop, you may have to elevate the one end or suspend it, or maybe hang it over a bench so that you can access the back of the pin to drive the pin from the back of the breaker through the front. So once you've positioned the breaker in a good position where you can access the bottom part of the pin, the retaining pin, which we can now see from the top side, we're going to remove the plug in the back. With a hammer and a punch, we'll tap the pin out, the retaining pin. Then we can remove the tool. Now that we've removed the tool, we can inspect the bushings. We'll use a set of spring calipers, a metric rule, and to measure the tool, we use a set of friction calipers. Always keep in mind that the excavator works front to back, or the carrier. So as the breaker is working, you're going to get the maximum amount of wear in the front or the back of the bushing. So when measuring the bushing, use your spring calipers. You install it in the lower bushing about a ½ an inch in from the bottom, front to back. Adjust your calipers so you get a slight bit of drag. And then measure it with your metric ruler. When measuring the tool, you have to consider the tool wears the same way. So normally on a tool that has some wear on it, you'll look for the wear mark from the bushing, and you'll measure that wear spot in the smallest point, or the maximum, the area with the maximum amount of wear. And you'll measure it front to back with the friction calipers and check that with the ruler. Now that we've measured the bushing and the tool, we've flipped the breaker over, so now it's on its back, and it'll make it easier to install the tool and the retaining pin. And also, prior to installing the tool, we can pre-grease the breaker to make sure that the grease passages are open and that we see grease visible in the bushings. So now that we've identified that the grease is being delivered to the bushings correctly, we can install the tool. We install the retaining pin. Prior to installing the pin, we want to make sure that you have a little bit of lubrication. You could either use a chisel paste or a grease to install the pin. When you install the pin, be very careful not to drive the pin in too far. If you drive it in too far, you'll damage the O-ring that holds the pin in place. To install the box plugs, we found that it's best to use a dead blow hammer and another hammer. You can also use a little bit of grease on the plugs. Next, we're going to check the piston accumulator charge. It's always located in the head, the cylinder head, just above the hoses. We're going to start by removing the filling valve plug. If the filling valve plug is difficult to remove, you can tap it a couple times with a hammer or a hammer and a punch. Once you've removed the plug, you're going to check the pressure with the handheld gauge and the filling hose. The filling hose has a nipple on the end, and you'll simply take and just push it directly into the filling valve to check the pressure. Once you're done checking it and you're verified that it's set where you need it to be, you can reinstall the filling valve plug and tighten with the Allen key. If you have any questions on the piston accumulator charge, refer to the operator's manual, or you can also call your Epiroc service center or your local dealer.